Hey everyone, I'm Jay.
And I'm Sean.
And
we watched a movie!
Yes, we did! We watched a movie. It is called Athlete A. It is a documentary that is on Netflix right now. How did you like this one, Sean?
It's a very good documentary of a very horrible subject, which is the 20-ish years of abuse of very young girls in the US Olympic gymnastics program, not only by Dr. Larry Nassar, who is the prime culprit, but also by the institution itself.
It reminded me a lot of like the church.
It's a very good analogy.
It seems to have attracted a lot of predators, an outsized amount of predators. And these predators seemed very much enabled by a culture of silence. Some people made complaints, and complaints traveled up the chain, and still they were suppressed.
Yeah.
And it is very disheartening to think that this program was valuing gold medals above the safety of very young girls.
It is, but also, this isn't even really about gold medals, which is even the more incomprehensible part, because it's just about money. It's about protecting the marketability of the US gymnastics program, and a scandal certainly would have impacted that.
Sure.
So they just cover it up.
It's just so hard to imagine so many adults knowing that little girls are being sexually assaulted regularly
By a pedophile, and not doing anything about it.
No.
Well, like doing something about it, covering it up.
Yeah, that's the
doing the even worse than ignoring it is enabling it, is what they're doing.
That's right. It really does feel like a lot of those people are culpable. It's not just one bad apple.
No. No, I mean, these complaints, they do a good job of tracing it. Where did this go up the chain? It goes to 4 or 5 different people, each of whom could have called the police and were required to call the police by law, but instead didn't. They chose to keep it in-house. They did an investigation, which obviously was not a legitimate one. And they put it in a file folder somewhere until the next one comes up.
Yeah, and the thing is, obviously a lot of these complaints were against the same person, and not all of them, not by any means, but there was a lot about this one doctor in particular, and they don't even get rid of him.
No.
You know, at least the Catholic Church would send the priest to another parish.
Right.
He just got to stay.
Yeah.
He just got to stay. They didn't even try.
Nothing changed. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, even the police are involved later on, but prior to the set of charges being laid that actually stick. And they do suggest some measures to him that he doesn't follow. He just goes about his business, and he has no reason not to when everyone in this organization is helping him out.
So it's a heavy watch.
Yeah. It's horrific.
It is horrific. But all of these young girls, eventually, because some journalists, somebody from the very outside, starts poking their way in, and suddenly all of these young women start speaking up. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's an amazing thing to see.
That is so powerful to see all of these young women, and like really
really young.
Everyone you remember from the Olympics,
Yep.
every American gymnast that you can name has been sexually abused by that guy.
Yep.
And they all stood up in court and said so,
Yep.
which is a super rare thing, which is a sad commentary on any justice system, because it is very hard for a woman to come forward. You know, when we talk about defunding the police and how many black lives have been slaughtered at the hand of racism, these are the same police that women don't want to make these claims to because they are so often not believed.
Yep.
Law enforcement has some big problems. So it is so powerful to see, especially the strength in numbers, but a lot of women don't have that benefit.
No.
At the same time, this man, complaints were made against him for many years, and he was allowed to keep abusing. Like, he has hundreds of victims.
Yep.
And so just thinking, even from when the investigation actually does start, and they don't remove him, how many more? Like, because he is not afraid. He has gotten away with this for so long.
He's
and
abusing
had so many co-conspirators.
Yeah. He's abusing these women or girls with their parents in the room. Like, it's unbelievable, and just
it's not unbelievable, because
okay.
that is a lot of predators like this are close family friends. They ingratiate themselves with the family. They have something to offer.
Yeah, that's a good point.
This is why so many girls feel like they can't even tell their parents, because they kind of just assume their parents know because they were there. They let this guy into your home, into your,
Yeah.
he is a part of your life. And at that age, you don't even really, you know it feels wrong, but, oh gosh, the sense of powerlessness. And so many of these girls are away from home at training camps. They don't even have any kind of supervision. And I think one thing that really got me, and I'm sure it did you too, was one woman said he was the only nice adult there.
Because they were being abused by their coaches in other ways.
Right. That's physical, mental,
Yeah.
emotional abuse.
Yeah.
So because this guy was softer and...
Let them eat?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I know.
How many of them were like,
Yeah.
well, he gave us treats.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. These little girls are stunted. They're deprived.
Yeah.
They are physically... training with that young, from such a young age, is already such a physical kind of abuse that you put your body through.
Yeah.
And then to have,
Oh yeah, it's a horrible business.
It's tough, and it really does make you think,
Why?
Is it really worth this risk?
No, it's not.
Because certainly pedophiles are attracted to these kinds of positions.
Yep.
Pedophiles find a way in to places where they have access to children.
Yeah, they do. So the institutions that also are running these events, these activities, has to actually be vigilant and not complicit.
Yeah.
Because this organization is, it's hard to say they're worse than the pedophile, but they're just as bad, and they're potentially more dangerous. Because they have such a broad reach. If this is happening in one place, it's gonna happen again.
Yeah, and they kind of legitimize it.
Yeah.
Because if you were brave enough to come forward with a complaint, which we already know is a rare thing and for good cause, and then those people in power suppress it, deny it, allow it to continue,
And
what message?
punish you.
Yeah, well, just the message that sends. That's the kind of, it's not just the wound you receive from the abuser, but the psychological damage from being re-victimized by all these other people down the line.
Yep.
These adults that just kept failing them.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's rough.
It is rough, but I think it is important to...
Oh, absolutely. This is a really good documentary.
Stuff. It is. I know recently there was a scandal, a hockey scandal, and you said something like, oh, it's always hockey. We always know about those hockey. But it's not just hockey.
No, it's not.
Because we watched college football players who are raping all of the co-eds. Like, this is...
It's true. It's systemic.
Yeah. There's schools that are suppressing this.
Yep.
It's really crazy. You are paying these people to care for your child, and this is happening.
Yep.
So yeah.
Because it's not about the kids. It needs to be. Obviously, that's the engine that's driving this. But money takes over.
Money. Yeah. What does that say about our society?
No kidding. We'll just feed these little girls to the wolves to make a few bucks.
Yeah.
Well, a few million bucks.
Yeah. So watch it.
Yeah.
Discuss it.
Yeah.
And, make sure your kids know what they should come to you with.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think this is a positive illustration in that way. Because we do get to see the women who were abused be validated and come forward and see it was never just me and this was never okay.
That's right. And just sort of the emotional release when they are believed. Because it's years of abuse and years of cover-up, and finally they can tell a story and have people believe them. Whew. So make sure your kid knows that it is okay to talk to you about this stuff. And even from a very young age, before you might even talk about sex, you should talk about your body is yours and yours alone. That's an important thing, because a lot of this abuse is happening before kids even have an understanding of sex. So they don't even have the tools to frame what is happening to them.
No.
So we need to really step that up.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, gosh. Okay. That was a hard one to watch, but I'm glad we got through it.
Yeah.
And it was a really well put together documentary, even if it has quite disturbing content. And yet the most disturbing part is that not very many people got punished.
No, because it's not just this one pedophile who will be spending the rest of his life in jail, and rightly so. It is all of the people who let this guy go about his business for 20 years, even while they were being told what he was doing. It's unforgivable.
That's right. But it needs to be more than that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a good day.
Bye.